If you're spiritual, you've probably heard spiritual teachers talking about what's known as dimensions before. The most common conversation around dimensions in the spirituality world is when we talk about third dimension and more recently the fifth dimension. But even though there are so many teachers talking about dimensions and so much content published every day on the topic, there's still a lot of confusion as to what all this actually means. And here's a little secret. There's also a 10th dimension, which is really active right now on planet Earth, and we all need to learn how to download this elevated energy. But I'm getting ahead of myself. In order to understand 10th dimensional energy and how to use it, first we need to backtrack and talk about the basics. Okay, first, what are dimensions? Spiritually, dimensions can be seen simply as states of consciousness. And here's something important to keep in mind. There is no state of consciousness that's better than another. They're all just different, and each state has its own place in human life. In lower dimensions, the energy vibrates more slowly and becomes more focused, limited, restricted. Lower dimensions, like third dimensional reality, is a place where individuality and ego are present, where we each have a sense of self and a perception that there's a clear boundary between ourselves and the outside world. This is the reality of matter and the material world. Lower dimension consciousness is one where I play out a me versus them storyline. It's in this state that we see black versus white, or American versus Chinese, or my property versus your property. In higher dimensions, the energy vibrates faster and it has more light. It's more expansive, it's bigger, with a focus on oneness. There are no actual boundaries between anything, and there's an awareness that everything is connected. When you reach higher dimensions, like the fifth dimension and above, you access a state of consciousness that is all-seeing and all-knowing. Higher dimensions are closer to God energy, that source energy that gives birth to everything. Higher dimension consciousness is no longer about me versus them, and now I understand one fundamental tenet present in all spiritual traditions on the planet, that what I do to others, I do to myself. In this statement is the recognition of my connection to all things around me, and that whatever I do out there is also done in here. And here's a mind-blowing fact. I can coexist in various dimensions at the same time. My favorite depiction of how this can happen comes from the world-renowned Harvard-trained neuroanatomist Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor. In 1996, she suffered a life-threatening stroke that basically took out the entire left hemisphere of her brain. This is the side of your brain that's mostly connected to 3D reality. It sees boundaries and thinks in concrete ways. Now check out how Jill Bolte Taylor describes what she was experiencing as she was having a stroke, and the left side of her brain was slowly dying. This is one of the most watched TED Talks of all times.
And then I lost my balance and I'm propped up against the wall. And I looked down at my arm and I realized that I can no longer define the boundaries of my body. I can't define where I begin and where I end, because the atoms and the molecules of my arm blended with the atoms and molecules of the wall. And all I could detect was this energy. And I'm asking myself, what is wrong with me? What is going on? And in that moment, my brain chatter, my left hemisphere brain chatter, went totally silent. Just like someone took a remote control and pushed the mute button. Total silence. And at first I was shocked to find myself inside of a silent mind. But then I was immediately captivated by the magnificence of the energy around me. And because I could no longer identify the boundaries of my body, I felt enormous and expansive. I felt at one with all the energy that was, and it was beautiful there. And then all of a sudden, my left hemisphere comes back online, and it says to me, hey, we got a problem, we got to get some help. And I'm going, oh, I got a problem. So it's like, okay, I got a problem. But then I immediately drifted right back out into the consciousness, and I affectionately refer to this space as La La Land.
What Jill Bolte Taylor calls the La La Land is actually fifth dimensional consciousness. And you can see how she was switching from 3D reality to 5D reality during her stroke. As her left hemisphere went offline, her right hemisphere experienced reality from a 5D perspective. Now to a question that has divided the spirituality community for a long time. How many dimensions are there? Some teachers say 7 dimensions, others say 12, others say 144, and honestly, there is no consensus. But in my understanding of reality and the universe, the true number of dimensions has to be infinite. There are no set number of dimensions because the universe itself and all of existence is infinite. Hey, beautiful soul, before we get back to the rest of the video, I wanted to let you know that coming up in July 2023, we'll be launching a brand new community and coaching course called Heart Alchemy 2.0. This new version of my premium coaching program has been extended to a year-round community experience that includes bi-weekly live coaching calls, exclusive video content to help you go deeper into healing and breaking free from any challenge in your life, community forums to meet others going through spiritual awakenings, first dibs to book limited access one-on-one coaching calls with me, the ability to connect and book calls with fellow community members and meet your soul tribe, an extensive library of meditations and activations, support from our world-class coaching team, monthly energy updates, and so much more. This new year-round community experience has been designed to give you continuous support and also to help you connect with like-hearted people who are going through the challenges of a spiritual awakening all over the world. If you want to join this exclusive year-round community and coaching experience, click on the link below to join the waitlist. We're opening the enrollment doors only to this waitlist, so if you want to join us, make sure you're on that list. Now that we're up to speed on what dimensions actually are, let's talk about the new 10th dimensional energy that's becoming more easily accessible to more of us down here on planet Earth. The 10th dimension is simply a realm of consciousness that is much higher than 3D or 5D reality we talked about before. And the only reason we can now access this incredibly high dimension is because we're evolving and awakening. The more of our consciousness that ascends, the easier it is to access higher dimensions. Higher dimensions contain within them what's known as light codes. These are energy blueprints of higher consciousness that change and upgrade your physical, mental, and spiritual self. Light codes have a different vibration and energy depending on what dimension they are located in. So fifth dimensional light codes are different from sixth dimensional ones, and so forth. With each dimensional elevation, the light codes get brighter and more crystalline, meaning that they expand our energy field so we become more magnetic, but also help our physical bodies get rid of any lower level energies and become more crystalline too. The more crystalline our bodies are, the more we can walk in this world as high dimensional beings who are in alignment with our soul energy. Wow! This is so cool! Now to the million-dollar question. How can we access 10th dimensional energy? Here are 2 powerful steps you can use to download 10th dimension energy into your energy field and body. Step number 1 is to untether from third density. In order to reach into high states of consciousness, we have to remove any attachment to the specific parts of our 3D material reality. And the things we have to let go of or purify are mostly related to things present in your mind. Negative thought forms, disempowering beliefs, societal programming that harms us. These thought patterns are all associated with 3D reality and they carry a very low vibration. For example, if I believe that I'm worthless or that I have no value, that thought is a really low vibration energy that contributes to keeping my energy field low. Anything that I believe or accept that is not true to my soul will ultimately force my vibration down. And if the vibration of my energy field is low, it's really hard to then make the jump up into 10th dimension. So be very honest with yourself and contemplate this. What disempowering thoughts and beliefs do I hold in my mind? Once you clean those up and move your mind up into more empowering beliefs and thoughts, now you're ready to access higher realms. Then step 2 is to use sacred geometry. Sacred geometry is a great way to help you connect to higher dimensions because each dimension of reality is associated with different geometric shapes that can help facilitate your ascension. In this case, we're going to work with 10th dimensional shapes. So here's what you're gonna do. Go on Google and look for images of 2 specific shapes. The 10 simplex, which is a more simple 10th dimensional shape that actually looks like a circle, and then the 10 cube, which is a much more complex shape also within the 10th dimension. Download these 2 images to your phone and then make some time to meditate and sit with your phone on airplane mode so you're not interrupted or receive on-screen notifications during this exercise. Open up the 10 simplex shape and place your phone at a position where your eyes are looking down and relaxed at the screen. Now focus your eyes lightly on the shape, don't force them, and make sure that you run your eyes through all the lines and circles. Map out the entire shape with your eyes. Do this for about 2 or 3 minutes, and when you feel prepared to remember the shape, close your eyes and visualize that shape in your mind's eye right at the center of your forehead. Once you can see the shape in your mind's eye, repeat this mantra: I download 10th dimensional light codes now. Stay in meditation for at least 10 minutes, and when you're ready, open your eyes. This is a really powerful exercise to help you channel down 10th dimensional codes. Once you get really good at remembering the 10 simplex shape, then it's time to graduate up to a more complex 10 cube shape. You do exactly the same exercise, but now you're focusing on the complexity of the 10 cube, mapping all the details with your eyes, and then closing your eyes and holding that shape in your mind's eye, repeating the exact same mantra. This can seem like a simple exercise, but it's so effective in helping you download these higher dimensional codes. You may feel this immediately, so be prepared to upgrade your system in a powerful way. Wow! I know all this 10th dimensional stuff sounds exciting, but the intensity of the energy isn't always easy to navigate, even if it is really high vibrational. So if you're having difficulties dealing with the energies on planet Earth right now, check out this video here and follow the 3 simple tips I recommend.